Moody Arthur Awori, popularly known to many Kenyans as Uncle Moody, built a long public career that combined politics, business leadership, and social advocacy. Yet, like many prominent political figures in Kenya, his legacy has also been marked by several controversies that periodically drew national attention. One of the most notable controversies linked to Awori was the Anglo leasing scandal, a major corruption scandal that surfaced in 2004 during his tenure as Kenya's vice president. The scandal revolved around a series of controversial security contracts awarded to phantom companies for government projects. Among the contracts was a deal for the production of fraud-proof passports, which fell under the Ministry of Home Affairs, the docket Awori had overseen before becoming vice president. Reports suggested that the cost of the passport project had ballooned from roughly 800 million Kenya shillings to about 2.7 billion Kenya shillings, raising serious concerns about irregular procurement and inflated contracts. Former anti-corruption official John Githongo later released a dossier that listed several senior officials allegedly involved in the scheme, and Awori's name appeared among those mentioned. Awori denied any wrongdoing and recorded statements with investigators, insisting that he had no knowledge of the mysterious company known as Anglo Leasing. Another controversy that followed him for years involved a 134-acre parcel of land in Karen, a highly valuable area of Nairobi. Through a company known as Muchanga Investment Limited, Awori claimed ownership of the land, which was estimated to be worth more than 8 billion Kenya shillings. The property became the subject of a lengthy legal battle after allegations emerged that the company had defrauded the widow of a former provincial commissioner in the process of acquiring the land. During court proceedings, Awori maintained that the land had been lawfully purchased in 1983, shortly after the original owner's death, and that the title held by his company was legitimate. Public debate also erupted in 2018 when President Uhuru Kenyatta appointed Awori, then 91 years old, to chair the Sports, Arts, and Social Development Fund Board. While some praised the move as recognition of Awori's experience, others criticized the appointment, arguing that it denied opportunities to younger professionals in a country grappling with high youth unemployment. President Kenyatta defended the decision publicly, stating that Awori's integrity and long record of service made him the right person for the position. Awori also found himself indirectly drawn into controversy through family legal troubles. In 2020, his sister Grace Wakungu was convicted in connection with a major maize scandal involving the National Cereals and Produce Board and was sentenced to either 69 years in prison or a fine exceeding 700 million Kenya shillings. Reports indicated that Awori personally contributed 135 million Kenya shillings toward the payment required to secure her release, a move that once again placed the influential Awori family in the national spotlight. Despite these controversies, Awori's life story stretches back decades before the political headlines. He was born on December 5, 1927, in Butere, then part of the former Butere Mumias district in western Kenya. His father, Canon Jeremiah Musenangu Awori, was among the pioneer African priests of the Anglican Church in East Africa, while his mother, Mariamu Odongo Awori, worked as a nurse and community teacher. Growing up in a large and accomplished family, Moody Awori was one of 16 children, many of whom later became influential figures in politics, business, medicine, and public service across East Africa. Among his siblings was Agri Awori, who later became a prominent Ugandan politician and even ran for president of Uganda in 2001. Another brother, Professor Nelson Wanyama Awori, became a renowned surgeon and led the team that performed the first successful kidney transplant in Black Africa in 1978. His sister Mary Okello founded the Makini Schools, one of Kenya's best-known private education networks. Another brother, Hannington Ochwada Awori, became a pioneer civil engineer in Kenya, while an older brother, WWW Wateri Awori, served in the Colonial Legislative Council in the 1950s. Awori's early education began at Mongu High School, where he was among the early Black African students admitted to the prestigious institution during the colonial era. He later continued his studies at Makerere University in Uganda, one of East Africa's oldest and most respected universities. He also completed the London Matriculation, a colonial-era qualification equivalent to university entrance requirements, and later became a member of the Chartered Institute of Secretaries, studying through correspondence with the British Institute of Secretaries. In May 2004, his public service efforts earned him an honorary Doctor of Laws degree from Southern New Hampshire University in recognition of his work supporting disadvantaged communities and persons living with disabilities. Awori's political career formally began in 1983 when he was elected Member of Parliament for Funyula constituency. He would hold the seat for more than 2 decades, serving the constituency until 2007. During the presidency of Daniel Arap Moi, Awori served as an assistant minister in several government ministries for many years, earning him the nickname the Professional Assistant Minister. His political career reached its highest level in 2003 when President Mwai Kibaki appointed him Minister for Home Affairs. Later that same year, following the sudden death of Vice President Michael Christopher Kijana Wamalwa, Awori was elevated to the position of Vice President of Kenya on September 25, 2003. He served in that role until January 2008. During his time as Minister for Home Affairs, Awori gained national attention for implementing significant prison reforms. Among the most symbolic changes was the replacement of the infamous Mariamu, a caged truck used to transport prisoners, with proper buses. He also introduced reforms that allowed inmates access to television, which many saw as part of a broader effort to humanize prison conditions in Kenya. Outside politics, Awori maintained an extensive presence in the corporate world. For more than 30 years, he served as chairman of the board of Moran EA Publishers, formerly known as Macmillan Kenya. He also held leadership roles in companies such as CFAO Motors Kenya and Springer Nature Ltd., and founded Mareba Tiles in 1974, a company that pioneered double-roll roofing tiles in the region. Throughout his life, Awori remained deeply involved in social advocacy. In 1958, he helped establish the Association for the Physically Disabled of Kenya, an organization that has provided rehabilitation services and assistive devices to thousands of Kenyans with disabilities. His commitment to education and community development also led to the establishment of Moody Awori Primary School in his home area of Funyula, long before the Kenyan government introduced the Constituency Development Fund. In 2017, Awori published his autobiography titled Riding on a Tiger, a memoir that recounts his decades in politics, business, and social work. His personal life reflects the same diversity he often champions publicly. Awori has been married for more than 5 decades to Rose Kuyumba Awori, who comes from Kenya's Kamba community. Their marriage was frequently cited by Awori as a personal stand against tribal divisions in Kenyan society. While Awori spends much of his time in Nairobi, his wife often resides at their rural home in Nangina, Funyula. The couple has 5 children, and their extended family forms part of the influential Awori dynasty. One notable relative is Jeremy Awori, the chief executive officer of EcoBank Transnational Incorporated. A devout Roman Catholic in a family largely associated with the Anglican Church, Awori has often described his large, multi-ethnic extended family as resembling a United Nations, reflecting different tribes, religions, and cultures within one household. Financially, Awori is widely believed to be one of the wealthiest political figures to have emerged from Busia County. Reports estimate his net worth at approximately 3.5 billion Kenya shillings, accumulated through decades of business investments, corporate directorships, and extensive real estate holdings. His assets include residential property in Karen, commercial investments, and the valuable 134-acre Karen land that has been the subject of prolonged legal disputes. Even in retirement from elective politics, Moody Awori remains one of the most recognizable elder statesmen in Kenya's public life, a figure whose career spans colonial Kenya, independence, and the modern era, combining decades of public service, business leadership, philanthropy, and controversy. A devout Roman Catholic in a family largely associated with the Anglican Church, Awori has often described his large, multi-ethnic extended family as resembling a united nations, reflecting different tribes, religions, and cultures within one household. Financially, Awori is widely believed to be one of the wealthiest political figures to have emerged from Busia County. Reports estimate his net worth at approximately 3.5 billion Kenya shillings, accumulated through decades of business investments, corporate directorships, and extensive real estate holdings. His assets include residential property in Karen, commercial investments, and the valuable 134-acre Karen land that has been the subject of prolonged legal disputes. Even in retirement from elective politics, Moody Awori remains one of the most recognizable elder statesmen in Kenya's public life, a figure whose career spans colonial Kenya, independence, and the modern era, combining decades of public service, business leadership, philanthropy, and controversy.